Hey everybody, this is your boy Garrett J. White, the founder of Wake Up Warrior and the CEO of DKW Styling. I'm sitting here with my wife Danielle K. White, the creator of Natural Beauty Bros. You can learn more about that.
The creator of life and your babies.
The creator of life and my baby. The life of my babies? Or just the life of babies? You don't know what you've created?
I've created our babies.
Our babies. Okay, we're going to create our babies. All right, well, listen, I'm all about and I completely 100% support you creating babies with me. Mm-hmm. And that's interesting because our topic today in Date Your Wife happens to be the topic of sex.
That's your favorite.
It is my favorite.
Your favorite.
You're not actually talking into the microphone.
I'm sorry.
You're not. Right now, nope, you're not even. You're not even doing it. You're literally just like messing around right now on your Instagram.
Woo! I'm ready.
Now I'm messing around on my Instagram, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do on my Instagram right now.
Instagram.
I don't know how to Instagram, but I think I can figure it out. Here we go. We're going to. There we go. Live on the Instagram.
This is. I don't.
Live on the Instagram. There you are. Live on the Instagram.
We don't have.
Okay, listen. Here's the deal. We don't have much time. We're gonna go. We're gonna go after this show. We're gonna actually put this right here. Hold on.
No, don't go live. End your live. I don't want to be.
No, we're gonna go live for just a minute. Just a minute. We're gonna go live. Just 1 second. We're gonna go live. All right. Listen. Our topic today. If you were here tuning in for the very first time to the Date Your Wife podcast, I am excited to have you here with us as we jump into another episode of the conversation of sex,
money.
Sex or the conversation of what? What's the second week's topic?
Second week's?
Yes. If the first week's topic is money, what's the second week's topic?
I don't remember.
Money. You just said it. You just said it. It's money. All right. So
sex, money, communication, and parenting.
Okay, good. But not in that order. What is it? It's sex. It's sex. And then?
Sex again?
No. I like where you're going with this, but it's not sex and sex. It's sex and money. And then it's what?
Communication.
And then it's communication. And then it's what?
Communication.
Nope.
Kids.
Communication comes after parenting.
Parenting.
It's parenting. You're forgetting about the kids, for goodness sakes.
I don't ever forget about the kids.
No, you do. You are forgetting about the kids. Okay, listen, like here's the deal. We are having a topical conversation today. Topical. Not to be confused with the topical ointment that you place on yourself. On the topic of sex, at one point in the game, I'm not going to lie to you, I was really wanting to endure the game of sex longer in marriage. And so what I did was this.
Wow.
What I did was the following. Jody says you've had too much tequila already.
I have not had any tequila, Jody.
Listen, you need to live by the code.
Okay, I had
You're not living by the code at all right now. You
just,
literally are lying. You're fucking lying to our entire live audience.
It hasn't even set in.
Okay, have you had a shot of tequila, yes or no?
I had half a shot of tequila.
Half or a full?
It was a baby
Live by the code, woman.
I'm living by the code.
Living by the fucking schmode you're living by. You had a full shot. Tell the truth.
I did
not. You didn't have a full shot of tequila as we started the show, yes or no?
No, I had a half.
That's the evidence right there. I'm telling you right now, she had a full shot of tequila to start today's topic. Are you ready to talk about? Are you ready?
Code,
I'm living by the code.
No.
I didn't say I didn't take a shot. I took a shot with you. I took a shot with you.
Baby shots.
A baby shot compared to what? A giant, a giant.
Let's get on with the topic of this
Eskimo?
show. Let's do this. End your life. Peace out.
Okay,
Bye.
listen, here's the deal.
Bye,
we're going to talk about sex.
Instagram.
Instagram, we're out of here. If you want to join us on this, well, we can't do it live anymore for you because we're going to focus and we're going to talk about this.
Yeah, we got to focus.
We'd love to see you subscribe to the podcast. Head on over to Date Your Wife on iTunes or Google Play, and or head over to dateyourwifenow.com. You can check out past episodes and or this episode today. All right, gentlemen, I'm out of here. Ladies, I'm out of here. Instagram, bye-bye. Okay, so we've ended the promotion.
All right, let's do this.
All right.
Oh, let's talk about it.
Okay, so we're going to talk about sex. Let me ask you this, though. Why do we talk about sex? Like, literally, as a married couple, why is this even a topic? Because this is one of our more popular shows right here. This episode.
No, it's only a popular show with your guys.
And guess what? 70% of our listeners are guys.
I disagree.
It's probably. I haven't actually studied that.
Yeah, that's why. Live by the code, Garrett.
I'm just going to tell you that literally there are a lot of guys that listen to this show. I'm shorter than you.
I know.
That's not going to work. I'm going to set up taller. Okay.
I'm like 5'9".
For real though, why do we talk? My voice is blasted from an entire week of training. Why do we talk about sex on this show?
I think when you're married, there's a part of you that's like, oh, what's going on? Why, like, you wonder, like, is this how it is? And then you talk to other married couple, and you're like, yeah, this is how it is.
And you start to realize that is how it is.
It is how it is.
Why do you think that why does married sex go to the shithole?
You know what? I'm starting to realize, like, I'm just gonna like pat myself on the back.
Pat yourself right on your espalda. That's the Spanish word for back. Go.
I feel like I keep it spicy.
I like it.
Yeah, don't even, you had a smirk because you had a visual and you're
I
like.
had a visual. The moon was out. The doors on our bedroom were open. It was go time. Okay, so literally, let's talk about this spicy
topic.
Let's not
talk about it, but let's
No,
talk about...
we're talking about sex, but we're talking about spicy.
Okay, so we've always, our first sex show we ever did, we talked about QQP, which was Quickie Pornstar.
Explain what this is. Explain what it is. Okay, because we have new listeners. They need to understand the QQP.
I own a salon in Laguna Beach, California called DKW Styling. Blog DKW Styling, and it's funny because Garrett's always like, you're not normal, and I'm like, honey, I work with all women, like, I promise you I'm normal. And the more I talk to women, I will, you know, if I get to know them a little more, I ask them, I'm like, so what's like normal for you? Like, how many times do you have sex? Like,
what's the answer you get? How many times a week are women having sex?
A good number for girls, like literally, if they say 3 times a week, I'm like, good for you. They're like, I know, my husband's so lucky. But here's what I want to get to. Okay. Here's what I want to get to. So
what's the average? Is that the high? What's the average?
That's kind of high. Like
that has to be fucking high.
That's high.
That's really high.
That's high. And
okay,
the
so
women
talk about the average.
The women that ask that, I'm like, good for you. And they're like, I know.
Do those women want to be having sex 3 times a week?
No, but this is where I'm getting to. So women like, it's like Katie's friend said it best last week. She goes, if you don't mop your floors, somebody else will do it for you.
Oh.
And I was like,
if you don't mop your floors, someone else will
But the problem is women approach sex as like, I'm just going to mop the floors, like, get her done. And then there's no fun in that. And I think if they go so long with just like a simple cleanup, they're not going to be satisfied.
I love that you related sex to cleaning.
Yeah,
it's a cleanup job. I mean, literally, it is a cleanup job afterwards.
So when she said that analogy, I was just kind of like, it makes sense. Got to mop the floors. But then I'm like, isn't that funny that women think of sex as like, got to give it my go. Got to mop my floors. like when she said that, I was like,
if you don't mop your floors, somebody else will.
I'm doing cartwheels on my floors, then mopping them, then doing more cartwheels back to them and a backflip over them.
I'm not going to lie to you. Your sex game in the last 6 months has gone through the roof. Do you think it's because of this show?
No.
No? Why do you think your sex game has gone through the roof? Because you as a woman have literally
I'm not going to tell you.
Blown my mind.
I can't tell you.
You can't tell me.
Because it's all about the QQP. Like, for some reason,
it's all about the QQP.
I'm telling you, like, I get it. You got to get her done. You got to mop the floor some nights. But some nights...
Some nights you got to put on a Cirque Soleil show.
Yes, and sometimes you're like, God, this is weird. And then you get like halfway in, you're like, I'm an acrobat, and you didn't even know you were an acrobat. And then you wake up the next morning, and you're like, fuck, my back hurts.
This was literally the case in last week.
But
you came for the first time. You came into a situation where your back was hurting.
I'm like, I'm 35, my back hurts. Less back bends.
Oh, all right. So,
but no, there's this piece of it that you're like, it's like you're kind of having fun with it. Like you're.
Talk about this because I swear to you, women. I mean, listen, men are uncomfortable with it. I'm not going to lie.
I think that you get to this
place
but women
are even
not,
more
you're
uncomfortable.
Both uncomfortable. Like
I agree.
You get married and you get so busy and you're kind of like, ooh, like I'm not going to tell you who, but I was talking to somebody we know.
You're talking to someone we know, okay?
And she's like, I hang out with probably some alpha women, okay. And she's sitting there, and we were joking about sex, and she's like, I literally had it in my hand, and I was wondering, like, I had to cut him off of conversation because he wanted to share his feelings, and I had it in my hand, and I was like, are we gonna do this or not? You want to keep telling me your feelings, or are we gonna do this? And I was like, okay, don't do that because that's kind of a turnoff.
Did she say that? She said this?
She said that to him.
Oh, shit. That's for sure an erection killer.
No, but
Did his erection die?
I'm like, if you have to say that, like, that's when you, ladies, like, I'm just telling you, like, I get it. Like, sometimes you got to, again, mop the floors. I get it.
Yes.
I get it.
Yes.
But sometimes you don't need to mop the floors.
Sometimes you got to what?
You need the floors to mop you.
Oh, wow. So
you're getting excited just listening.
Sometimes
to
I'm
show.
Already getting this is foreplay. I'm literally getting turned on right now on this show.
Like here's the thing.
Okay,
like,
talking about what this means, you have to literally You have
sometimes you're tired and you just gotta you gotta get in there and get it done. But then sometimes, like, if you really want to have fun with it, you gotta act the part and play the role. Like, it's literally like how they do it in the movies. Like, entertain that idea. Like, have fun with it. Like, walk in the room in your underwear and just be like, oh hey, like. I mean, that's what you do. You can't just be in bed and be like, are we going to do this or not?
Are we going to do this?
Because that's like not going to, like, really just because your legs are open doesn't mean that's attractive. Like, that's all I'm saying.
Oh, I love where you're going with this right now. Talk to me more about this. Continue to go.
I just think, like, okay, I always go back to, like, when you're dating. Right. Like, if you're dating, are you going to be like, are we going to do this or not? No, you're going to be like, oh, God, I can't tell. Does he like me? Does he not? Like, what do I need to do? You're going to be like, oh, whoops, my towel dropped. Like, like, I don't know what that looks like for you, but I'm just saying, like, when you're married, if you expect to have that chemistry and that spark, play the fucking game.
So why do you think the women stop playing the game?
Because it becomes a chore. It becomes a chore of mopping your floors. That is the worst analogy I've ever heard. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know what, though? It's reality for most women.
It is, and they're like,
most
all right,
married women.
I got the checklist, and I'm going to mop the fucking floors. And you're like, no wonder your husband's sticking with you, because, like, you mop the floors 3 or 4 times a week. Good for you. Your cleaning analogy is amazing. You're spot on. However, what if you didn't mop the floors?
What if you did what?
I just think that, like,
a little Cirque Soleil.
I just think that you got to have a little bit of fun with it. And you know what's so funny? Oh,
what? Go. Okay. I mean, literally, here's the deal. I don't know one guy that has to mop the floors, but I do know, I'm sure there's tens of millions of women who mop the floors.
Today Show, and I don't even know who done something, whatever her name is on there.
I don't even know who's on that show.
And there had this sex specialist, and she comes in, and she's like, and she's saying, not a sex specialist, I'm sorry, I don't know who this lady was, but she's saying, like, when you're busy, you should schedule sex.
Schedule it like it's on the calendar.
And I was thinking, I was like, ew, schedule sex, weird. But at the same time, we schedule like 1 to 2 date nights a week, and that's usually a guaranteed win. So I think I got her analogy of, like, you like schedule sex, but at the same time, I'm like, you can't be that girl. It's like, well, it's Monday and we scheduled it and it's 3:45, and so, like, because then it takes the fun out of it. So you have to, like, that's great if you want to, like, schedule pencil in sex, but it's also kind of a buzzkill, and you have to learn to have fun with it and relax. And for both partners, I think when you're married, like, it doesn't matter if you're married. Sometimes it gets a little awkward, and you have to play that game of, like, what if we were dating? So, like, ask yourself, what if we were dating? How would I act? And even though it seems like an act, because you're like, this is silly. We've been married for 15 years. Like, this is silly. All of a sudden, it becomes kind of fun. And I'm not saying you have to, like it's simpler than you think. It's literally just, like, it's simpler than you think. It's not like role playing or anything like that. It's just like, what would you do if you're dating? You're not going to be like, are we doing this or what? I'm going to mop your floors. Like, you're going to be like, hey, like, you're going to try and be kind of sexy.
And let me ask you a question. Do you end up feeling, do you feel better about yourself when you go to that place? And what I mean by that is, like, instead of mop the floors,
I'm happy
you go
that my man is fulfilled.
Really?
Like, I know that, like, you can have sex and you're like, yeah, that was great. I needed that. But when you have fun with it, your man's feeling fulfilled. Like, he's not going to be looking at other women because he's going to be like, God, last night was great.
No, literally, this is the case. I'm going to verify this.
I know
literally,
it is.
There is no thought.
Like, women want a secret formula and they say, like, oh, just put out for your man. And I'm like...
But it's not enough to just, it's not enough just to put out. You have to give him content.
Totally. And it's not even about content. It's just like, it's more about the other party going in and being like, hey, I know this is fun for you and it's fun for me. And it's fun to, like, please you. And it goes both ways.
It does.
And so, yeah.
I'll tell you from the guy's side. From the guy's side, this is a... Like, I was having a conversation. I'm not shitting you today. I was having a conversation with an entrepreneur. I'm not going to say who it was. I'm going to say what he does. But he was sitting in my front yard. I have a small little patio.
Okay.
I have couches. And he came over and he sat down. He said, listen, can I have an hour? I said, no. You can have 30 minutes. So we sat down and we talked for 30 minutes.
This was today?
This was today. You were gone getting your eyelashes done.
I was like, when did this happen?
Yeah, you were getting your eyelashes done. So anyways, he came over, he sat down on the couch. We're sitting on the couch in the front of our house, and we're having a conversation. And there were 2 situations that came up. One was she was upset about what he was wanting sexually. Okay?
Who is this person?
I'm not saying any names. I will tell you after the date night. Okay. Or I'll tell you later after this show. Okay, so I want him to be able to be safe with who he is.
Sure.
Okay, so she's upset about the sex game, but the thing that was interesting was I looked at his patterns. He's hustling, he's grinding. He has 3 kids. His wife had a baby a year ago, so there are 4 children right now, and he's trying to figure out the game. But I looked at him, and he has this faulty understanding about sex. And I looked at him and I said, listen, okay, you want to have sex. Your wife's putting out. You're having sex. She actually said she wants him to move out. That's why he came over. I know. And I wasn't sad for him. I realized what was going on. I diagnosed it in about 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes of questions. I knew what was going on. They don't go on date nights. Okay, number one. Number two, she has no time away from the children at all. Okay? Yeah. Number three, in the last 3 weeks, she started going out drinking with her girlfriends. So she's finally giving time, and he takes care of the kids. But she goes out to like 1 in the morning. Yeah, you did the face. You did the face. Okay, so I looked at him and I said, here's the problem. You want to have sexual connection with your wife. And at the end of the day, your wife wants something different. It's not that she doesn't want sexual connection. She actually wants something else. And if you'll give that to her, it will support you in the sex game, but it will also bring your marriage together. So I looked at him, I said, do you want, and I was really direct with him. Within like 4 minutes, I'm asking a question. Like, what's the deal? She's like, well, I was like, what kind of sex you have? Is she okay with blowjobs? Are you okay with going down on her? Like, do you have really anal? Asking. Do you have, is it just vaginal?
What you were asking?
Oh, yeah, in 2 minutes. And I'm like, are you doing missionary? Are you doing cowgirl, reverse cowgirl? Like, what's going on? Like, tell me, give me the frontier right now. And he was super uncomfortable because no one's ever asked him these kind of questions at this speed and at this frequency and at this focus. And I'm asking him the questions. I'm laying out the terrain, and I'm looking at the frontier, and I'm asking him all this data. But at the end of the day, the real fuck up that he had was that he thought it was enough to just make money and invest in the children.
No.
Okay? Because I did this forever. Talk to me. Go.
I used to think that women wanted time, and then I was like, no, it's not time. We want validation and attention. I don't care if you're the shyest person on the planet. I don't care if you're an introvert, an extrovert. Like, women want attention. They will always, if they're not feeling like they have validation and attention, they will go look somewhere else for it, just like guys will go look somewhere else for sex. And unfortunately, sometimes when women go look for validation and attention, it can lead to sex.
With somebody else. And like a lot of the and this is the thing is like if you're a woman and you're not feeling validated and you don't feel like you're getting attention, because your man is working and then he comes home from the business and he starts pouring into the children, which guys go through this. It's a weird thing. Well, they think that pouring into the kids is going to get them laid.
Give them points, but I think.
But it ends up not. It ends up yes getting them points or not.
Almost like I would imagine the guy feels awkward and the safe place is always the children.
For sure.
And so they're like, God, my wife, this tension, like she wants to rip my fucking face off, and I work so hard. The kids are safe. Double brownie points, hanging out with the kids. Like, you think that.
And then you think you're going to get laid right after.
And then you're like, well, I put time in with the kids.
And then you don't get laid.
But really, you're fucking scared of your wife because she's going to rip your face off because she's pissed because you're not giving her any time or attention. So, my suggestion. I'm
going to validate this as a man. This is literally what goes on for a lot of guys.
So, in fact, even when Garrett comes home some nights, he'll, like, hang out with the kids. And I'm like, and he'll be like, I got to put them to bed. And I'm like, hey, fucker, they'll put themselves to bed. They're old enough now. Like, quit using that as an excuse. If you want to get laid, if you want to hang out, you're going to need to come over here.
Continue. You're beating my ass right now. But I'm okay with it.
I'm like
okay
serious.
With it. Go,
like,
go,
there's
go.
times even now, like, you'll be like, I got to put the kids to bed. And I'm like, no, you don't. Like, I'll step in and be like, good night, girls, brush your teeth. And he's like, what if they don't brush their teeth? I'm like, then they don't fucking brush their teeth. But I'm not like I'm not a very routine mom. I'm kind of like, I was even raised like it was fend for yourself. And I think it taught us a lot of independency, I guess you could say, but I don't know. That's like my parenting strategy is like they get to this point and I'm like, brush your own teeth, say your own prayers, tuck yourself in. And then if it's like a story time or whatever, it's like a special treat. But that doesn't need to happen every single night. Like, no. I know that there's parents with young kids and they're like, but we have the routine. I'm like, well, your marriage fucking sucks. So like maybe you have a routine that's not so.
Do you know what? I'm gonna throw myself under the bus on this. Okay, was it last night?
It was a couple nights ago.
And 2 nights ago.
And I was like, put him to bed.
No, it was last night. You were asking me to come lay by you.
I always ask for you to lay by me. Like, I'm not sure. I wasn't naked, but I'm always like, babe.
You were wanting me to come lay by you. And I was like, I was in this weird place.
We just want attention.
I know, but you were asking me. I was thinking about this morning on my walk and talk. I walk and talk with myself every morning at 5 a.m. I walk and talk because I'm literally a fucking crazy person. So for the first hour of my day, from between 5 and 6, I walk and talk with myself so that I can just stabilize, like, you're a fucking crazy person. How do we not be crazy today? How do we channel that crazy into creation? So, like, but this morning in my walk and talk, I was thinking about, it was last night. It was literally last night. And you said, come lay by me. I said, no, I'm tired. I got to put the girls to bed.
You always say that. And I think
why do I do that?
Because it's your pattern, your routine. And
why do I do that?
Because it's like
you were literally asking me to come spend time with you. Please fuck me is what you're saying.
I think it's a safety mechanism. Like, I don't want to get turned on, turned down.
Turned down.
I don't know.
But
I think it might have been like a past pattern where you're like, if I put the kids to bed, then I can come to bed and be like, oh, babe, like, what happened? You went to sleep. And I'm like, because you fucking took an hour to put the girls to bed. They don't need an hour.
Know it, right?
And that's happened so much, like,
and
honestly.
That happened last night.
But that happened when our kids were littler, and I feel like it's a pattern that I'm like, babe.
I'm trying to break it.
I know, and I'm trying to break you of it, and I'll be like, Bailey, you're old enough. Go to bed. And
I think I literally did. You're saying that right now.
I think it's a defense mechanism from past patterns and behaviors.
I've never considered what you're saying right now until right this exact moment.
And even when I go in and I'm like, babe, I got it. You'll be like, I want to spend time with them. And I'm like, or we could just tell them to go to bed, lock the door.
And we could have sex right now.
You know what I tell, this is probably bad, but my daughter will be like, Mom, come snuggle and come hang out. And I'm like, babe, I love you. Me and Dad are going to go have sex. She's like, so gross. And I'm like, yeah, don't open the door. We're going to have sex.
It's true.
She's like,
it's
so
a good
gross,
move.
Mom. And I'm like, again.
It's a good move.
And then she doesn't come in.
You know what, though? I'm looking. I mean, we've been married 15 years, and we've been together for 17. I'm looking at the patterns, and I am confident that what you just declared is a revelation for me. Which is, I at some level, I come home, and you know what it is? It's when I'm really tired from a lot of work.
But wouldn't you rather just snuggle and have sex?
Yeah, but for some reason, I go to
you don't even have to talk
guilt
to me.
with the kids,
I don't care about your feelings. I just want to sit and watch Game of Thrones and have sex and go to bed.
Oh, well, it's tough because Game of Thrones is pretty much a porno. But I'm looking at this. This was last night. This is literally last night. You're saying, I'm hearing in my mind an echoing voice. Come lay by me. Leave them alone. They can put themselves to bed. Come lay by me. Come lay by me. Come.
Why do women drink? Because they're like, oh, well.
By me.
Just going to go drink and go to bed.
But and what did I do? I did not. No, I did come lay by you.
I don't remember. I fell asleep
I
with
did.
Chloe,
I did come lay.
Dog.
No, I did come lay by you eventually. But it didn't matter because I had already gone down the pathway of this.
I'm glad that you're having this aha moment
with kids. I didn't realize that I do this until right now, but I'm realizing that I do this right now.
So what kind of mentoring can you give the guys? Stop using your kids as like a safety net?
Well,
Maybe face the battle. Whether your wife's even you know what would be good if guys came in home and even if they're like stressed or whatever, because I have to be careful if I approach you right after you come home because I know if I say something that's like if I'm like stressed and I release my stress on you right when you get home, then it's like a guaranteed
blow up.
So then it's like weird because I'm excited to see you and I want to share my day, whether it's stressful or drama or not. I want to share my day with you.
Right.
But I also know you're kind of like settling in. So my first step is like feed him. And I usually take...
It's true. It is literally fucking true. If I don't have food and I come home and I get ambushed, it is no bueno.
I know, and sometimes that happens. But what I'm saying is...
Most of the time it doesn't. You've been cooking a lot more.
I know.
Why is this?
Literally,
you have. Like 4 times a week you've been cooking.
My mom's a good cook. We grew up. My mom's always a good cook. And I think I have that in me. I just don't care.
I feel so loved when you cook. I don't know why.
I'm like, scrambled eggs, babe.
Even if it's scrambled eggs with a little tortilla. Like, for some reason, like, I just... Or toast. I feel like I feel loved.
Like, I'll be like, sit down, I got this. And even if it's scrambled eggs, I'll make it. And I'll be like, hey, I got the kids. I'll go shove them in the bath. And then I think it's just like a pattern of, like, they go in the bath. And then I go on Instagram for a good 30 minutes. And then you debrief downstairs.
Yeah. I usually am eating and I'm totally decompressing.
And then we're good, though. But then we're good. And that's when you go into the pattern of, like, I've got to go put the kids to bed. And I'm like...
You know what it is? I think a bit of it is like there's a lot of dad guilt that comes with like working a lot.
Yeah, because you don't spend time with them.
But I do in the morning. I spend time with my kids in the morning. I take them to school. Well, I was loving taking Ruby to school.
Val says it the best because Val, I do my Big Money Stylist podcast with her, and she's always like, it's not about, you have to just have pockets of time. And if you have pockets of time where it's not on the checklist of like, hey, I spent 30 minutes today. Okay, I put them to bed. Like, it's pockets of time where you're like on a Saturday or a Sunday, and those are the memory that kids are like, oh my God, my dad was so awesome, and this and this and this. Like, I mean, they might, even like I said, like bedtime stories could be like a special thing.
Right.
You know, or back tickles or whatever it is. It doesn't necessarily have to be a 45 to an hour thing every single night. And I think that that's something that's stressed in general with young kids is like, I got to do the routine. But the routine sometimes costs you a little bit of your relationship. So you have to minimize the routine to not 45 minutes to an hour.
Oh, I mean, I'm for sure have used the kids. Like, as I'm sitting here and thinking about this, I for sure have used the children as an excuse to not
They're a safety net.
have to be intimate with you.
Well, because they're
even though I want to have sex with you, I don't want to be. I'm not sure how to be intimate with you.
I'm seeing it too, though. Like I get it. Like I'm like putting myself in your shoes, and you're like, okay, I just worked a shit ton. I just want to decompress. I just want to like have a
play LOL dolls and do nothing.
Yeah, I want to like have a happy wife that's like doting and this and that and like whatever. And then if you want to share your feelings, great. Like I get it. I work too. And then like when I come home, I feel bad because sometimes I'm not like totally plugged in and I don't want to play LOL dolls and I'm just like, I'm like in like survival mode. And I feel like not like the best parent, but at the same time, I know like on the weekends, I kind of make up for it. On my days off, I make up for it. And so it's like pockets of time where you can just really like have fun, you know, and not worry about necessarily the guilt, because I feel like guilt really actually is the enemy and kind of holds us back in everything pretty much. So if we feel guilt with our kids, that doesn't really serve us or our kids.
Let me ask you something. So we're gonna wrap up the show.
Yeah, I'm starving.
So yeah, I'm starving too. We gotta go eat, and then we're gonna continue our date night. Here's the thing though. So to the guys and changing that pattern, I'm just becoming aware of this pattern on the show right now. So I obviously can't give you any fucking advice about what to do because I've used my kids. Obviously, my wife has seen this for 15 years. I'm finding this out right now on the fucking show. So in like 7 months.
I think women do it too, though.
I think like 6 months I'm going to be able to give you some advice on this. But right now I got nothing for you.
I'm sure like kids are always using an excuse. I wrote a whole blog post on like using your children as an excuse. And I think if whatever you want in life, you can make it happen. But yeah, the excuse of kids has to go, I guess.
It has to go. Okay, so let me ask you a question though, like to finish the show. Like because I really do think this is like a problem because guys ask me this question. They hear about the QQP. How does a woman get herself to a place where she is
permission?
Yeah, gives herself permission to just unleash. Like, you have given yourself permission to unleash. And I'm not going to lie, it's fucking changed my life. Like, it has literally changed my life. Like in the past when you had not, and you weren't giving yourself that permission, I was constantly struggling to keep my mind focused on you. But now I am telling you, I fucking think about no other woman ever anymore. I think about you. Like, I get triggered. I literally think about you and moments we've had.
I feel like in life, it's so funny because we put up this wall, and yet we want this, but we're not willing to submit or surrender or whatever it is. And so our end goal is, and it could go in just sex, business, whatever. It's like we know what we want, but we're doing everything we can to not make that happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, why should I don't want to do that sex? I get it. I was there for like so many years. I was like, well, fuck you. Like, you pay the bills. Like, I don't want to give you that sex. You know what I mean? And then it gets to this place where you're like, if you give, I give. And it's like, it kind of becomes a give on both ends. And then if you do that more often, it kind of, all of a sudden you're like, this is fun. And it's like any habit or pattern or routine or whatever it is. Like, the more you do it, the more it's just like the new norm. And the more it's all of a sudden you're like, this is kind of fun. It's like working out. If you haven't worked out forever, you're like, oh my God, this sucks so bad.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you like crave it, and you're like, yes, I want to like work out, and like, and it becomes like you literally, it's like a piece of you that you need. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that in relationships, if you say like, well, I don't want to, sometimes it's like, just think of it as honestly like starting a new workout. Like, put in the work now, and then it gets easier, and then before you know it, it's actually kind of fun.
There you go. So you've got some submission. I've obviously got some awareness here in my therapy session called This Show with my wife, and realizing I've used my children in a completely inappropriate way to shield myself a bit from having to deal directly with my wife.
Like, I don't want to take away from that time, and I can tell even the kids are like, Dad,
I mean, I love being with my kids
so, like, I think what I'm thinking, like, the solution should be, because honestly, like, our bedtime routine kind of sucks because we wait way too long. So what if it was like a routine of,
8
I think
p.m.
that's why I'm always like pushing for you to get home a little bit earlier. I'm like,
Yeah,
come on,
so
come
we
on,
can start earlier.
So
I don't get home from
earlier.
work till like 7:15.
I know, and that's why I'm always like, even if it's like 6:30, and then at like
if I got home a little earlier, that would
7:30 you debrief, and then like 7:30 to 8:30 is you and kid time, and then at like 8:30 we're like, good night, kids, and
that's
then
a good point.
like at 8:30 I'm not gonna be tired at 8:30. The only times I am like, well, I'm going to bed, it's like 9:30, and I'm like, I give up. He's still trying to put the kids to bed. I don't really care. I'm gonna go look at Instagram for a good solid hour, and then I'm gonna fall asleep about 10:30.
And I'm still dealing with the kids.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is if we just started this process earlier and it becomes, and I feel like I'm always trying to like get after it.
You are, and for some reason I end up getting lost in the child vortex.
No, you get lost on your laptop or whatever. So like what we have to do is just commit to like closing the laptop. Because that's when I go. Because that's when I go to my phone, and you're on the laptop, and I'm on my phone. And so, what we have to do is get that routine out of the way quickly, and then if we want to sit in bed and watch Game of Thrones, and you have your laptop and I have my phone, but we're kind of hanging out, like that's.
I like this shot.
On like a Tuesday, I'm like, okay, good night.
So 4 weeks from now, we're going to report on this in the sex show, and we're going to talk about how this new strategy works. Okay. Return and report.
Yeah, I'm like repeat and report.
Repeat and report. All right, that's all we got for you now. We are starving. We're heading off the date night for a little din. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Again, a couple of reminders here. If you are not currently getting access to Be the Man, the book, you can find this in Amazon, available to the public now. We have had thousands and thousands. Right now, we have already sold out the first round of 4,000 books. We have the second round coming in right now. Almost 500 full-on multi-paragraph reviews about this book. Gentlemen, if you've not picked it up, or ladies, if you're listening to the show and you know your man needs a copy of this book, it's $20. It's actually $19.95. You can head on over to Amazon. The audiobook is going to be available at the time we're recording this show. Should be available within 2 weeks, maybe less from when we're recording the show, but we've got a version in print. Paperback can be shipped to you with Prime. We've also got access to the Kindle version, which can be downloaded immediately, and the audiobook through Audible, which will be available shortly. So thanks so much for being here. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week, and we look forward to seeing you next week when we come back with the Date Your Wife podcast with the